For the audio feed, I don't know if it's on yet, but so if you're on stage, it's important that you use the microphone. So let me welcome you. We may have people coming in during the presentation, but I've asked everybody to kind of hold them back there so they won't disrupt you if you're presenting. This is me, John Dalton. Welcome, I say, on the thing. So what we're going to do is very quickly go over the competition. Now, most of you have, I think all of you came to the workshop. Did you come to the workshop? I don't know if I remember you, but maybe you had the flu. That's okay. And our judges have, I'm sure, done their homework and understand how the competition works. So I'm going to kind of skip this, but we're very pleased to have it here at the university. There are some rules, and so we're very strict with the rules, and I will be watching the competition to make sure rules aren't violated, but the judges will actually have the final decision as to whether or not you violated a rule and you should be disqualified. I have every confidence that you won't violate a rule, and the big one is our timer. And so what you don't want to hear is the bell. That's right. If you hear the bell, you are automatically disqualified, okay? So, and that is not a decision that we will overturn or we will be flexible on, unfortunately. So basically what's going to happen and the way it's going to work is that the timer will start. This is your area. The timer will start when you start. They're not going to tell you to start. So she will start when you start, okay? And then as you go up, I will put your slide up behind you. As soon as you're finished, I will actually take your slide down, okay? So judges will be looking at the slides while you're presenting. Now, during the deliberation, if they want to review your slide during their deliberation period, we will provide it to them, okay? So really for the contestants, are there any questions about the rules? You guys got it. Yeah. All right. And then here's the judging criteria. And basically, I'll let you read through that, but essentially, you want to speak in layman's terms, and you want to be dynamic, and you want to be clear, and you want to be as close to 3 minutes as possible. You do not want to go over your 3 minutes, okay? That's a bad thing. And you want to be engaging, of course. Your slides, I think, Danielle, do we have all the slides for everybody who's here? Okay, so we've got your slides loaded and ready to go. Okay. And a special thank you, just so you guys know, this is the prize money and the travel money to the regional conference has been sponsored by the Graduate Coordinator Network. And all of our judges today are from the Graduate Coordinator Network. And this is the amount of money that the organization is putting up for your prize money. So good luck to everyone. And I understand all of our judges are here, so turn around and say hi to them. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate that. Okay? So as we move through this, do we have any questions before we start? Okay. So I'm going to, I will put the microphone around your neck like this. So come on up. I'm going to turn it on.
Yes.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. So, okay. So wait right over here. And then, judges, are we ready for the first one? Okay. Is this you?
Yep, that's me.
Okay.
Vehicle.
Okay. And
Ladies and gentlemen, our partners come with all sorts of problems. Sometimes problems we didn't even they exist. Let me break it down to you. There are 3 types of partners they meet. First of all, kind number 1, the warm. They're represented by the blue line. They just won't last that long. They could take medication and become type number 2. They can't, represent a red line. They will get into the zone for a little bit, but they can't hold on that long. That's where you people want the number 3, the well people. These guys, just like the green line there, will get into the zone and will stay there, hold on forever. Now, whether you thought I was talking about your partner's temper or something else, that's your issue. But believe me, we face the same issues in drug delivery and medication delivery. For example, chronic inflammation diseases such as rheumatoid arthritis, the medication that we have are hydrophilic, which means these drugs love water. So if you inject them intravenously, freely, you'll have two problems. It's either they're going to get excreted because you excrete water and it becomes not effective, or you can inject more so they become effective, but because you made out of water everywhere, they'll go everywhere. It'll become side effects. So scientists came up with this cool idea of nano vehicle. They're made of lipids. You can have the drug in it. But just like the Kant people in the red line, the drug is hydrophilic. It loves water. It will want to get out of that vehicle as soon as you get it there. So what we developed is a novel vehicle that can hold on. It's the will vehicle, just like the green light, just like the green people there. It will get the drug inside and it will hold on to it until it reaches its destination. You think this is cool? We made it even cooler. You see that blue around the vehicle? That is an acid-sensitive shield that will prevent these particles from getting uptaken anywhere else but the chronic inflammation side or the inflamed joints, because you have a low pH in these acid-sensitive and these joints. So the acid sensitivity will make the shield lose from the particle and get uptaken by the inflammatory cells in there. We actually tested this in mice model, and the colors are representative in the images. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is this person? No. And we're going to wait just a second to give the judges a couple minutes. But we'll have to get this on here, okay? We have Ahmed.
Right. Good morning, everyone. So, flooded cities are not the most amazing place to live in. That's why we invest a lot on expensive and extensive underground sewer networks. So, stormwater can be conveyed safely away from our streets and neighborhoods. However, if we inadequately design the structure that actually takes water from the streets down to the sewers, then all these huge investments on the sewers are going to waste. Like, consider your kitchen sink where you put your dishes. Like, you got a new shiny sink, looks great, mama approves, you got the plumbing right, everything looks okay, but the drainage hole in the sink, if it's too small, then water will not make it through. And the entire system will fail just because a tiny, totally avoidable thing, the sinkhole. Of course, when it comes to stormwater, we don't go around and make holes in our streets. We use storm drain inlets, which these guys up here. So storm drain inlets, if we want to test the hydraulics of these structures and their performance, we have two ways to go about it. We can wait for a storm to happen, then go to the streets and take some measurements, which doesn't sound to be a great idea, or we can take the street to the lab, and which we did here. At J.J. Pickle Research Campus, we have a real-size model of a roadway, 60 foot long, 10 foot wide, and installed in it are storm drain inlets that can be 5 foot long, 10 foot, and 15 foot long. So the Federal Highway Administration recommended equations for the design of these inlets, and people have been using them for like 70 years. We wanted to test these equations against real-size experiments, like we have here. So we did some experiments, and our results are here. So in this axis, we have the measured inflow into the inlet, and here we have the computed flow into the inlet. And this is our match line, the gray line here. So if you have a point on this match line, it shows that the experiments and the equations match each other. However, if the point is above the match line, that means that the equations are overestimating the capacity of this inlet. Check out the results. So for a 5 foot inlet, we see that most of the points here in blue are on the match line, more or less. But for a 10 foot and 15 foot inlet, all the points are way above. That means for our larger inlets, they are taking way less than what we expect. So in our research, we defined the limitations in this equation and provided updated design guidelines to keep the streets of Texas safe and dry. Thank you. I was taking this home. Okay, yeah, you can.
Oh, wait, the next one? There we are. Oh, good. Oops, sorry. Let's do this. Okay, if you'll just wait right over a couple minutes and we'll get started.
Hello everyone, I'm here to share you a story about how we make flood maps for the entire Texas. When a hurricane hits our land, if you turn on the TV, you will already see a picture with a giant cloud. That's also the only thing first responders know when they prepare for a disaster. Obviously, it's not enough. First responders need flood maps to tell them where to go. In the past, you can pay several $1,000s to an engineering consulting company and ask them to make a flood map for you for just one waiver, which will take several months to finish. But during Harvey, as we know, we got thousands of waivers flooded at the same time in our state. So that's impractical to go in that way. Therefore, we come up with a new method for making flood maps. This method is based on a concept named height above nearest drainage, which we call it as HAND. HAND is a kind of like relative elevation. Instead of considering the absolute elevation above the sea level, we measure how high a place is above the channel bottom of its nearest stream. So imagine there is a raindrop falling on top of this building. If we follow that raindrop, we will find out that the first stream it enters is Waller Creek. Then we just compare the elevation of the building basement to the stream bottom of Waller Creek to get the handle elevation of this building. When a flood happens at Waller Creek, we know the stream flow, which means how big the water is. We also know the geometry, which tells you how the channel looks like, and then we can get how deep the water is. So all we need to do is to compare the hand elevation of this building to the water depth in Waller Creek to decide whether this building is flooded or not. That's what we did during Hurricane Harvey. So before hurricane hits our state, we have computed the hand for millions of buildings across the entire state. When hurricane actually occurred, we got the water depth for all the rivers across Texas from our model, and then we use hand to create flood maps. When we provide our flood maps to local emergency responders, they can use our map to decide where they can walk in to rescue, where they need a fire truck, and where they need a lifeboat. When we provide our maps to the state-level emergency responders at the State Operations Center, they can summarize the flooded house numbers by county. So in that way, they can get a sense of which county get most concerns, and it helps them to allocate limited resources across different places during a disaster. So that's my research, which starts at UT and eventually changes the world. Thank you. Okay.
This is better than like the
All right.
Thank you. You're good. Is that?
That's perfect.
Do I sound louder? Oh, sorry. It's probably good for me to just like practice using my voice a little bit. I don't want it to choke up. We're going to have a knowing look, and that's when we're going to start. Oh, no! Believe in you. Oh. Ready when you are. No, please, I'm sorry. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Nora Ashora, and I work at the George U Lab here at UT Austin, fighting cancer. And without bombarding you with a lot of statistics, I think we can all comfortably agree that cancer is a critical public health issue, with almost 40% of Americans expected to be diagnosed with some form of cancer in their lifetime. And while we know that treatments are getting better, we're still fighting an enemy that we don't completely understand. And because of that, the way that many treatments work is by affecting both your body's cancer cells and your body's healthy cells. Lucky for us, our immune system, the same one that we would use to fight off a cold or the flu, can tell the difference between your body's healthy cells and your body's cancer cells. Your body can sense when something is misbehaving and then targets it for removal. So naturally, cancer developed a way to disguise itself from your immune system. And to further clarify where I come into this story, I'm going to level with you using Star Wars. Imagine for a moment that cancer is the evil galactic emperor Palpatine. Generally bad, has a secret identity, and he uses that secret identity to rise to power. Much like Palpatine, cancer has a trick to disguise itself from your body, and it lets it rise to power. The rest of your body is everybody else in the Star Wars universe who seems to have no idea who cancer really is, and us, we're the audience, yelling at the television because it is so obvious that Palpatine is evil and corrupt. What my work aims to do is give the knowledge of the audience back to your body. The way that my treatment works is by tearing away the mask that cancer uses to hide from your immune system. And in doing so, it allows your immune system, the Jedi, if you will, to use the Force to stop cancer without as much collateral damage to your body. This approach is very unique for my field. Most cancer treatments work by affecting both your healthy cells and your cancer cells. But my work draws a clear distinction for the light side, ensuring that they remain unharmed. And the best part is that your body can do this naturally. It just needs my help to take away cancer's defense mechanism and expose it for what it really is. Hopefully the treatment that I am working on will help patients beat cancer without as many harmful side effects to their body. And at the same time, it's going to help us scientists learn more about the tricks used by the dark side. I'd like to thank the Graduate Coordinator Network for hosting this competition today. Thank you all for your attention, and may the Force be with you.
Oh, well, parents are probably, our parents, whatever. They'll see it
Do
later.
you say parents?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably,
Yeah,
that may be the case.
Oh, well. That'll do it. Okay. Currently, a widely used imaging technique to diagnose cancer is magnetic resonance imaging, or MRI. However, there are three major concerns with diagnosing and treating cancer cells: determining a universal method to detecting the tumor early, minimizing the use of invasive measures, and improving treatment efficacy and reducing side effects. Imagine, if you would, if I turned on a flashlight in this room, would you be able to see a noticeable difference? Now, suppose I turned off the ceiling lights and I turned on that flashlight. I'm sure at this point, all of you would easily be able to determine the location of that flashlight. In an MRI, tumors are known to give off a brighter signal than normal cells. However, if the tumor is very small, differentiating a cancerous growth from the surrounding normal tissues is analogous to finding a hidden flashlight in an illuminated room. It's plausible, but very challenging. MRIs use a very powerful magnet to detect hydrogen in tissue. However, there's a major concern with this. The body's made up of roughly 70% water, and water, or H2O, has two different hydrogens in them. So, in a normal hydrogen MRI, the cancer cells are the flashlight, and the surrounding normal cells are the lights in this room. Now consider, if you will, if we can take an MRI with something other than hydrogen. Say fluorine. Fluorine is a suitable element for MRI probes because there's no detectable fluorine in the body. My research focuses on making MRI probes with fluorine in them that are selective toward cancer cells. So, when the cancer cells takes up my MRI probe, it gets trapped inside. However, a normal cell is able to freely allow the probe to move in and out. Therefore, the accumulation of my probe inside of the cancer cells causes them to give off a brighter signal in a fluorine MRI, and virtually no signal in the surrounding normal cells. This is analogous to turning on a flashlight in a dark room, where the flashlight's are cancer cells, and the dark room is the surrounding normal tissues. Indeed, this will help detect the tumor earlier. My research is also focused on making a probe that not only is able to detect the cancer early using fluorine MRI, but also delivering a drug to kill the cell. This will not only revolutionize diagnostic approaches to treating the cancer, but should also help the doctor facilitate the treatment. I would like to also finish by saying that this is just the start of my work here at UT Austin, and I look forward to seeing what the future of science holds. Thank you. Butcher the ending.
Nice job. Yep. Sorry. Okay, so we had several people who were no-shows. So what's going to happen is we're going to let the judges finish decide who my guess is, since we have a little extra time, at a time and say about 30 minutes, there's no set number. We're just going to. All right. Thanks, guys. You can leave.